from the New York Post. Costco emergency food kits spark wild conspiracy theory by doomsday prepper. It's not just a doomsday prepper. There are many. And you don't see this. I think doomsday prepper is where they're trying to goad you.
Oh, that language is intentional.
Prepper is fine. Not everybody who's prepping is prepping for the doomsday. They're prepping because sometimes it rains, and when floodwaters come in, you need food. But let me just start by saying
everyone buys
this.
toilet paper
That's
when
right.
COVID hits.
Let me just say, you guys have seen the show Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? What a fun show. Man, I remember back in the heyday of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire watching. It was like on ABC. You know, how old was I? Like 10 years old. And they have a lifeline where you can ask the audience. And it only really works with like the earlier questions that are kind of easy. You know, it would be like, which country is the first country to do whatever? And then it's like, I don't know, I'm gonna ask the audience. And then it shows like most people said A. Wisdom of the crowd, it's called. What we're seeing with Costco is really interesting. They've released these emergency meals you can buy. And we've also pitched our one of our sponsors, safeandreadymeals.com. Now Costco is selling these ReadyWise buckets you can buy that contain, what do they say, 132 pasta meals for $63.99. These are price saving, as it were. Why is Costco doing this? The conspiracy theory is something bad is about to happen. Maybe it's World War III, maybe it's Civil War. I think I can up the ante on you. It is not just that there is a deep state plot. Like the government knows something's going to happen and they want people to buy the stuff to be ready without triggering alarm. Maybe. It could be worse in a different way. Costco just follows demand. Costco is not being told to do this so that they can prepare the population for World War III. They're doing it because the population believes World War III is about to happen. And the wisdom of the crowd is we need to stock up on emergency meals right now and gold because they're selling gold because it's about to get bad. Costco just simply reacts to the demand.
Yes, I think that's entirely true because the thing is, there are a lot of really good videos about Costco's business model. They keep fewer items on the shelves than an average grocery store, but the things that are there, they only keep if they're selling. And so they will occasionally test items. You'll see things that come for a little while and go, but if they think that this is something people are going to buy, it's a big decision because they only keep a limited number of items. It's interesting to me that Costco has said, people want this item. We're going to bring it in and we're going to see how long we can sell it for.
So we did, I periodically do pitches for one of our sponsors, safeandreadymeals.com. And when we do, it's only when there's like a big event that scares people. And it's not because people are scared. It's because I genuinely think people should be prepared. I don't think it makes sense to, this is why I only do it a couple times per year, maybe like 5 or 6. It'll be like there's a major storm or a blizzard happening. I'll be like, hey guys, you should have emergency food. Here's an example as to why you should do it. Right now, it's pretty wild because I believe Costco has analytics on sales and distributors. I bet they go to one of their warehouse distributors and they pay for data on what's coming and going. Mm-hmm. So you get a regional warehouse. Like, where do donuts come from your favorite donut shop? Well, small ones may bake the donuts. But the truth is, there will be like, I don't know if Dunkin' Donuts does this, but there will be one big factory that will produce a bunch of donuts and then ship them out to all the stores. If you have a regional warehouse distributor, maybe like Cisco does these things for restaurants. Actually, a good example is skateboarding. I don't want to speak to any other industry. I can speak to how skateboarding works. There will be a warehouse. The warehouse gets a contract with all the big companies that make wheels, bolts, boards, and they get distributor prices. Local skate shops then sign up to buy from that warehouse. That's how the system works. So imagine Costco goes to that warehouse and says, we will pay you $10,000 for all of your sales numbers. Then they see, holy crap, emergency food bins are skyrocketing. We carry this, we make bank.
Yeah, and especially since there's someone who's really particular about what they sell. I think this speaks to a change in American culture right now, which is that people, the average person who shops at Costco is saying, I want to be prepared. Again, it doesn't have to mean Civil War or anything else. It could just mean like, I noticed last year we lost power a couple times. I noticed last year we couldn't get to the grocery store because the snow was too bad on our hill. Like there are all kinds of reasons.
The leftists could be blaming climate change
for sure.
Sure. Look, I hear what you're saying and I understand, but I would take the bet the average person won't say it but they think the end is nigh.
I wonder if they think the end is nigh, or just generally there is a distrust in the system around them. There's this movement towards self-reliance. Like, you get food to be prepared because you are thinking about the future. And that's a shift away from our general culture of, I want to do things right now, I'm only going to think about right now. That's interesting. In fact, this should be an extremely encouraging change in Costco's policy, because people who think about the future are people you want around you. People who are preparing for, something bad to happen are concerned about protecting themselves.
I will say this. Maybe it's actually just for like the past 2 years, I've basically made the pitch. You don't need the apocalypse to buy emergency food. And I genuinely believe that's true. Whenever we do these pitches, I'd say, look, like, there's a hurricane coming, make sure you have emergency food. But the reality is you don't buy it because you think the world is ending. You buy it because sometimes it rains. And there have been instances where the power has gone out for several days. In New York, when Hurricane Sandy hit, Lower East Side was without power for a while. And a lot of food had foiled. A lot of food has spoiled. And if people had emergency food in their houses, they'd have been totally fine. We'll just crack at the old stockpile. Mm-hmm. But the thing about these meals is you don't eat them. You don't. So if you have them, you only eat them when you absolutely have no choice. Mm-hmm. So like you go to like one of these like Fortitude Ranch, for instance, is like an emergency. I don't call it a bunker. It's more like a outdoorsmanship timeshare, because in the event the apocalypse happens, sure, you can go there. But they're like, yeah, we have emergency food. But before you ever go into that, you are foraging, you are hunting, you are finding other ways, you are farming. And then when the winter hits and your crop was bad, you crack open the emergency food.
Yeah. There are things you buy for the future, or you buy them because you don't know when you'll need them, and you don't want to be in a position where you're without resources. And I think that's, again, extremely interesting. People who are saying everything's fine, I don't need to be prepared for the future, are also saying, I believe that everything that's going on right now is okay. And I think the majority of people don't feel that way.
Mr. J super chatted that Costco's been selling those in Texas for a long time.
I was going to say, one of the most interesting things would be to see a state-by-state breakdown of which ones are
because they shift their project regionally.
Yeah,
I imagine it's probably being sold in Utah as well, because the LDS Church teaches people to stockpile significantly in case of storms or anything else that may happen.
The point, however, it's that people who did not notice these before are now noticing them. So that, actually it's quite simple. Costco said, hey, we've been selling these things in Texas and sales have been skyrocketing. Let's start carrying them in other stores. I think we'll make money.
Capitalism, baby.
Yeah. And now you can look at it and be like, why are people buying so much of this?
Because you're a good salesman and we should all be prepared.
But it could also be the thing that for a lot of them, like, they were there. It's just that now they are thinking about the end is nigh, so they notice the emergency pack more now than they would have when they were kind of under the illusion that things were better than they were before.
I think that's a good cultural shift, though, in general. People should be buying things like this on a consistent basis. I mean, in my mind, it's like people are starting to trust the government less and less, which is, of course, a good thing. There's no negative when it comes to that.
You actually don't need to buy these things on a regular basis.
Oh, no. Well,
I can't speak for Costco.
Depending on the size or how long.
What you're doing. If you're just like buying canned food to prepare, that's something you do regularly.
Canned foods don't even last that long, to be honest. But the emergency buckets that we've pitched last 25 years. If they're stored in a cool, dry place, 25 years. You buy one, you never buy them again. Also, unless your family grows.
Remember when when the government released that list of things that were like signs of domestic terrorists? There was like self-reliance, canning your own goods, making things like that. Anything that
basically
involved
homesteading.
any type of homesteading was labeled as far-right extremist behavior.
Okay, I just saw this picture for the first time.
Oh, that is awesome.
Freeze-dried vanilla ice cream sandwiches. What do? Do you like put it in a bowl of milk?
Nah, you just eat it.
You just eat it.
Some of at like
delicious.
aerospace museums.
Yeah, really?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, freeze-dried ice cream.
Ice cream. Yeah,
I've had freeze-dried ice cream before, and it's like it's I don't know how it's like meringue.
Yeah, it's like brittle meringue. It like breaks apart.
It's delicious.
It's chewy, delicious.
I think we should get one of these and do a review on this show.
Can you rehydrate it?
I imagine you could. I don't know. I don't see why you couldn't.
Dude, we just dunk it in some
You'd have
snow.
to freeze it again, obviously, though. Yeah, once you rehydrate it.
You just stick it in the snow bank.
Yeah, what would happen to the
freeze-dried?
Would the ice cream just like if you rehydrate it, would just turn to liquid?
Yeah, that's what I think so. And then you'd have to freeze that again, and then you'd have like reconstituted ice cream, which I don't know why you'd do that.
I bet if you dipped it in milk, it would be awesome.
Yeah, it probably would be. I have never done that, but
I learned that full-grown cows make up to like 12 gallons of milk per day.
Yeah.
That's
a lot.
crazy, dude.
There is
Too
something
much milk.
hilariously dystopian about the idea that it's like the end of the world is coming and the businessman is just there, like, unbeknownst to anything. He's like, oh, people want to buy stuff for the end of the world. I guess they'll sell them stuff for the end of the world. That's fine. It goes on. I love it.
And then the businessman is using the money he gets to prepare for the end of the world.
Exactly. It's perfect.
He's the one building the
his
bunkers.
bunker. Yeah,
But
exactly.
there are companies that were like, oh, I remember seeing these videos in like 2012 when people will be like, I own a company that will build you a bunker.
Yes,
I have this
yeah.
model. It's like getting
And
a
safe rooms
prefab
and-
house. Sure.
Yep.
Like, I don't think it's necessarily bad for people to sell these types of things if you can do it. It's just interesting that it has become so mainstream. Costco was like, I think the average suburban family might buy one of these meals.
Family
Oh,
meals.
man, that's
Family
crazy.
meals.
Like, who is shopping at Costco? You know, like it's just people who are regular average Americans who might look at it and say, this is worth having. Again, good cultural shift.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.